Hey there friends, and welcome back to Sunny Liston Gaming. I, of course, am Sunny, and I'm bringing you my Part 1 review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, you heard that right. Part 1. You may be asking yourself, Self, why parts? Why is he doing parts? Has Sunny lost it? No sir or ma'am, I have not. As you can imagine, this game is a beast, and it's a beast with chapters. This thing goes way beyond what is considered a normal game, especially since it's 23 years in the making. That being the case, I've split my review into 3 parts. Each part is going to cover 1/3 of the entire game, and this review in particular is going to cover chapters 1 through 6. Why? Because it deserves that kind of attention to detail, you dingus. Now stick around for the video and enjoy. Few things in the world have the power and ability to take one back to a simpler time. A time where your only worry was whether or not you had spelling homework, or if you were going to wake up in time for Saturday morning cartoons. With all the complications that life presents, to find something as simple as joy amid those complications is more than just a blessing. It's nothing short of miraculous. With the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I believe that unbridled joy has been found. With a mix of stunning visuals, a breathtaking and reimagined score, witty and charming banter, and a story that simultaneously stays true to the original, yet incorporates new and immersive augmentation, I, for one, feel like I am Cloud, back in Nibelheim, without a care in the world, and with only hopes, dreams, and aspirations on my mind. This is not what you think it is. It's not the same Final Fantasy anymore. What we have before us now is a different monster entirely. It is not the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Instead, it is Final Fantasy VII re-envisioned. Finally, at long last, what we have is a retelling of what is, in my opinion, the greatest game of all time. And let me tell you, this game, my friends, is, in a word,
beautiful.
To start, this game covers only Midgar. You heard that right too. You might think that's a little cheap. Maybe like you're getting ripped off. I want to at least get to Nibelheim, Sonny. What gives? I'll admit, I had the same thoughts. At first. Well, those thoughts are long gone now. Midgar is massive. There were times during my playthrough that I didn't think Midgar had an end. The game starts out the same way the original did. The bombing mission of the Sector 1 reactor. This time, however, there is much, much more to that reactor to explore. Parts we've never seen previously. We advance through, mowing down enemies, opening chests, demolishing boxes, all the while listening to the banter between Cloud and Barry.
First. Huh? Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
The hell you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Guess that make you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
At the climax of this is the guard scorpion, here called Scorpion Sentinel. A sufficiently tough boss, that presents very similar challenges to the original and is still fun and just as reminiscent. So far so good, right? Well, this is, by definition, a full game. And much like the Sector 1 reactor, you'll explore parts of Midgar that you never even knew existed, let alone could have conceived in your mind. There are brand new areas, new monsters, mini-bosses, and bosses, all while retaining the original landmarks, foes, and basic plot and storyline.
Get ready.
Still alive?
Over here! Oh, you guys!
Damn straight.
Daddy!
Oh, sweetheart.
Glad you're home!
Don't worry, I'm fine.
Thank goodness.
It is abundantly clear to me that Square Enix put copious amounts of love and care into this remake. Love and care will both be themes carried through this game, and you will have both for the story, Midgar, but most undeniably
Hell yeah!
for the characters.
Lower your voices, huh? People are listening.
Oh, right.
Let's start with Cloud. Our fearless and tough protagonist as ever.
Guess it's time for introductions.
With his hard exterior,
Nobody do something
flippin'
this
attitude,
crazy just for money. They may
is
not
even
think
more a
you're
picture
true
of his
believer,
former
but
self
you know what
here.
I think?
Not interested.
What?
You
The
wanna
abilities of
stand
modern
there and
technology
pretend
really
you can't
allow
hear the
Cloud to
plan
shine
crying
in
out
this
in vain?
game
I
and show
know
off
you
just
can.
exactly why he was a
You
soldier.
really hear that?
He starts off
Damn
completely
straight I do.
indifferent,
Get help.
but eventually shows his true self. The person that we think he is
How sweet.
melts away,
When did you
revealing
get
what
so
we all know to
thoughtful?
be true.
Guy can change.
That Cloud is a caring
Has been
and
5
oft-times nurturing soul.
Huh? You weren't thinking of leaving Midgar anytime soon, were you?
Well, seems this old friend of mine's in a tight spot. Long time ago I said I'd be there for her. Made a promise. So,
He has a clear and indisputable love for his childhood friend Tifa,
Can't say this is quite what I had in mind when
but
I put
likely
that
in a
on you
way
way
that
back
goes
when.
far deeper than
you
romanticism.
want to talk? I'm listening.
Huh? What's with you all of a sudden?
With me?
Like you're losing that hard edge.
That bad?
Not at all. I like it. Maybe Marlene won't be so scared of you next time.
No, it's no
I'm
secret
really glad to have you back, Cloud. Really
that
glad.
I've been a fan of Tifa's
So
for a
then,
long
what
time.
can I get you?
23 years
Before we get
to be
on to
exact.
money. There's an empty apartment in a place just down the road.
In this
It's nothing
remake,
fancy,
Tifa
but
is sweeter than
I was
ever.
thinking you could stay there for
Although
now.
she doesn't appear
The
until you
landlady's
return
a
to
big
Sector
friend
7,
of the cause, so you wouldn't even have to
following
pay
the
rent.
bombing run
Sound good?
on Mako Reactor
does.
1.
Thanks.
It doesn't matter though, as she is well worth the short wait.
So,
She and Cloud
after you left the
reconnect
village,
and seem to pick up where they left off 5 years prior.
I let you off the hook before.
And they don't
back at
even
the
skip a
hall,
beat.
But not this time.
It's like they had never spent time apart. And this kind of attention to detail
Well,
the
when we were
developers
kids,
had for this
everybody wanted to be
game
a soldier, right?
Yeah.
is exactly
I remember
why
they were on the news
this
every
game
day
is as
during the
good as
war.
it is.
Thing is, by the time I finally made it in, they didn't need heroes anymore. It was nothing like what we dreamt of. It was just working for Shinra. Just...
I'm sorry. I know it's a touchy subject.
All right, let's see if Little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. that you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
And now we're on to Barrett.
Then do the damn job. You
Barrett
listening,
is
Murph?
portrayed perfectly
One false
and is
move.
exactly how I always pictured him.
And that happens.
His stoic,
Yeah.
no-nonsense
We always knew
demeanor
this was gonna
hardly
get messy.
wavers. And he's the leader,
is only the
but this
beginning.
faction of Avalanche, comprised of
Y'all
Jesse,
gotta look at the
Biggs,
bigger
and
picture
Wedge,
here. Nothing
all
worth fighting for was
truly
ever won without
deserve.
sacrifice. Though you may not be crying out, I know you're in pain.
These three
just like the
characters are
planet.
far more fleshed out in this remake,
But it's okay,
allowing you to
'cause I'm
connect
here
on a
for
far
you,
deeper
to help
level with
take the
them
load off
than
your
one could have
shoulders.
thought possible in 1997.
Your fears, your worries, your concerns, and yes, your fees. Whatever your problem, I got you.
They all have their own unique personalities, and it
So,
almost seems
what's our
as
next
if you
move,
don't have
boss?
a choice but to love them.
That's easy enough. We get our asses home.
Copy that.
Oh man,
Welcome home, honey. Took your sweet
Jessie.
time. I almost forgot.
How could you not
more thing.
love Jessie?
Stop it! What in the hell are you trying to...
She's funny, she's quirky,
Easy, you'll make us fall.
Not if you do first.
she's beautiful, and she's tough.
Yeah. Together, we can take on the world.
It's impossible not to love her. Oh boy. Oh Wedge.
Don't worry, I've got this.
My man. Wedge has got to be one of the funniest characters I've ever seen in any video game,
Catch me if you
movie, literally anything. I love Wedge so much.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
They could not have picked better comedic relief
just swing,
for a
JP.
game that is so
Shot.
not supposed to be funny.
Are we seriously doing this
Meanwhile,
here? That's-
Biggs remains the
wow.
voice of reason for Avalanche and
guys
seems
are
to
the
always have to help Wedge with whatever he needs help with. Go Biggs.
Now that was a gunshot.
I've got time.
I mean, honestly,
why don't you tell me all
some
about
of
it while we
my
try to
all-time
rustle up
favorite
some more
scenes
work
from
for
this
you?
game were
That sounds
completely
great.
because of
I'll come
Wedge.
too.
Oh, no, you won't.
What?
Run along now, you two.
Sorry,
Go on.
maybe next time.
He
No
literally
fair.
makes
about it for a
everything
second.
funnier, and
They
he's
haven't seen
always
each other
trying
in
to hang
years.
out with
You'd be a
everyone.
third wheel.
He's hilarious. And if you don't believe me, just watch this. Which brings us to the stunning, charming, and sassy
Hey, are you
Eric.
okay? Here, this is
In
for
my
you.
mind, the developers could not have done a better job
That's right.
bringing
It's a
her
gift.
to life.
You know, for scaring those things away.
What things?
Never mind. Think of it as
From
a
the first
memento.
meeting, Aerith steals the
Just
show,
my luck.
practically in an instant.
I heard that, you know.
Her personality is her own, and
Look,
she is
I'm
as
involved
caring
in
out of
things.
combat as she is in
Dangerous
it.
things.
But we'll learn more
Oh,
about her
I'm
in part
sure you
2
are.
of my review.
So,
If you're looking for a turn-based Final Fantasy VII, you might want to go download the original. That said, combat system in this game is nothing short of exquisite. ATB is still here and is still crucial to your success. This time though, it's used a bit differently. You can perform basic attacks while ATB fills up, but you can't use magic, items, abilities, or summons until you fill up one of your 2 ATB gauges. Only then can you utilize the full gambit of resources at your disposal. It should be mentioned here that Cloud's regular attack comes with one heck of a caveat. He has 2 modes, Operator and Punisher mode. Operator mode allows you to perform standard attacks, making Cloud very nimble and agile. Punisher mode, however, is OP as can be, and I love it. This mode allows you to perform insanely powerful attacks, and if you block while you're in Punisher mode and are attacked, Cloud will automatically counter with animalistic ferocity and strength, often knocking back and staggering your opponent. Pressure and stagger are also new to the game, and essentially mean that the more you beat down on an enemy, their pressure gauge fills up. Once it's full, They stagger for a short time but are completely vulnerable, giving you the opportunity to utterly annihilate them. It is unbelievably useful. One of my favorite additions has to be the abilities, which are learned with new weapons, and some might look familiar as they used to be limit breaks. While limit breaks essentially are unchanged. I think this is brilliant. These abilities can be invaluable and every character has them to use. Here's me using my favorite one. Focus Thrust. Very strong, very useful. The magic/materia system essentially remains unchanged, as the slotting system returns and works just as flawlessly as before, and I, for one, am glad they didn't mess with the formula on this one. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, am I right? Pair that with being able to upgrade each weapon and gain a new weapon skill, and you're now an unstoppable machine. The way this system works is that you accrue skill points in battles, fighting, even from side quests. You then assign those skill points to different parts of your weapon. Your weapon can have 1, 2, 3, I've only seen 4 cores at the most, but each core has different abilities that you can assign these skill points to. Every time you do, you make yourself stronger and your weapon stronger. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes you need all the help you can get in this game. Lastly, in relation to combat, summons are a bit different in this remake.
An apology for not getting you on
First
the
off,
mission.
there are a total of 6 summon materia
Or not.
in this
What
game.
do you think it is?
One is given to you,
A proposition.
like we see here.
Nailed it
One
in
is
one.
found while exploring the Sector 5 reactor. And
A
the
down
rest,
payment.
believe it or not, are completely and totally optional. When summons are equipped, however, and while facing a mini-boss or a boss, during battle, you will spot a summon gauge on the right of the screen that will start filling up. You can then bring forth the summon once that gauge is full.
Have fun.
Summons will then stay active and start automatically attacking foes for a limited duration, in which they cannot be taken out by enemies. They are literally invincible and immortal. You also have the ability to command the summon to perform a short list of attacks. I truly didn't think that the summoning system could be improved upon, but I was dead wrong. The developers of this game took something that was already very functional and made it better. Further proving that this game is nothing short of amazing. And Ifrit just took down that boss. Thanks, Ifrit. You're the man.
Clear.
Or something.
Stay down.
Let's go.
Sure.
All right, this way.
Hey there.
One thing that
Here
I
to change
found
out your water
personally
filter.
interesting for my particular
Tifa,
taste
baby, how you doing? Been
are
waiting
the
for you
side
to-
quests.
Wait, where's he?
Now normally,
Cloud's in charge of collections.
I hate
He'll take your money.
doing
Well,
side quests
Rats
in
too much
games.
to handle? I'm
To
just
me,
messing with you.
it
Heard you
almost
took out
always
some
feels
were-rats,
mundane
which is
and
nice all,
arbitrary.
but the job was to wipe out the Doom rats.
Not here though. I truly enjoyed every side quest presented to me, and I completed all of them and enjoyed every single one. You have to understand, for me to enjoy a side quest, is remarkable. So for the developers to actually come up with some side quests that are not only engaging, but
You're
also
good at this.
interesting,
Told you so.
enough so to get me to like them,
Finally managed to get those dupes.
is wild. I mean, really,
You asked for it.
they're all fun.
Let's do this.
And that's probably because the majority of them, you get to kill things. And that's just always a good time.
Got rid of those drakes in the factory, did ya? What a relief. I can't wait to give my regulars the good news. You're the real deal, all right. Keep it up, and I can see you going far as a merc in this town. I've worked with my fair share over the years, so believe me when I say that I know what I'm talking about.
The NPCs
Anyway,
in this game
you're
are
needed over at
wildly
the pillar.
fluid.
Apparently another
And
flying
seem to be a
bastard
part of
stirring up
Midgar.
trouble.
They
Bet
make
you can't get
Midgar
enough of
feel
this, huh?
Well,
completely alive.
No, I get it.
And the
If you're good
side
at something,
conversations
might
between
as well
different
make it your living.
NPCs are interesting,
May not know you, but I know
and
a man
follow
who's
the
found his
story
calling when I
as
see
you complete
one.
various
Keep at it.
tasks.
Gotta make a stand.
let's get this over.
It's quite refreshing, to be honest. Almost like a good song.
Need a light. Keep those gloves
Which
up.
brings me to the score. There isn't much that I can say about the music in the remake that hasn't been said already. Every single song is in the right place, sets the mood perfectly for the moment, and most impressively is dynamic and changes with the setting, activity, or lack thereof, and allows you to thoroughly immerse yourself in the moment. It absolutely complements the breathtaking visuals and does so consistently. And don't even get me started on the remixes. I only wish that I was able to obtain them. However, you can find the remixes within the game, and that's gonna have to do for now. In the meantime, enjoy this amazing music. Disclaimer: the following contains definite spoilers, so if you haven't played the game and don't want to hear this, please skip ahead. With all of this said, I did find one thing a bit odd. But I have to keep in mind here that this is indeed a remake and not a direct clone of the original. I knew going into this that things would be different, but still, something threw me off. I thought seeing Sephiroth so early on was very strange. There were a couple of things I thought they should hold off on introducing until way later. But to show Sephiroth as early as they did, which actually happens about an hour and a half in, give or take, that was way too early in my opinion. In my mind, with Sephiroth being such a prominent antagonist, I would think the developers and writers would have kept us thinking that Shinra was the real enemy, especially for those who have never played the original and are coming into Final Fantasy VII completely blind. That said, despite my feelings on the timing, I think the scenes with Sephiroth are remarkably well done and executed. It still leaves you wondering on several notes, most notably being, how is Sephiroth going to manifest in the next iteration? And I, for one, can't wait to find out. When all is said and done, friends, I think you can gather my overall opinion of this game. It is an absolute masterpiece. Is it perfect to everyone? No, certainly not. And that's evidenced by all the negative comments I see on social media online. But those people generally don't have anything good to say about anything, even if it's good. To those people, I say quit crying and let people enjoy things. This game is good. If it's not good to you, who cares? Your opinion really only matters to you. Let people enjoy it. Because truly, this game is a masterpiece in a world of bad finger paintings. To me, it stands alone, at least as of right now, as something that could have gone horribly, horribly wrong, or, in this case, splendidly right. I can hardly believe that we live in a time where the Final Fantasy VII Remake exists, and that we get to share in all of its glory together. Truthfully, we should be grateful that this happened at all, because at the end of the day, how often does real, undeniable joy truly present itself? If you stuck around to the end of this video, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. This game means so much to me, and it has for years. It was a light in the dark when I was in a truly bad place. So this video series is a labor of love and a total passion project for me. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do so here and here, because growing a channel and a community is not a one-person job. I hope everyone is staying safe out there amid the chaos, and I hope you're taking care of each other. Please be on the lookout for my Part 2 review of the Final Fantasy VII Remake right here at Sunny Liston Gaming. Hope everyone has a great day, and never stop exploring.